Alright, so welcome back everyone. This is video number 3 in my 3-part video series for how to restore digestive wellness. Again, my name is Craig Fear. I'm a certified nutritional therapist and I specialize in helping people with their chronic digestive issues. I also blog on a variety of digestive health topics over at www.fearlesseating.net. That's .net, not .com, fearlesseating.net. And you can see my blog logo right here at the top of this first slide. Also, if you're finding this video on my blog or on YouTube and you missed the first two, there should be a link provided below where you can sign up to see the entire video series. So just to review real quick, in video number 1, we learned why poor digestive health manifests, and then in video number 2, we learned about the very foods that damage digestive health and the very foods that restore digestive health. And I call the foods that restore digestive health the 5 food pillars of good digestive health. And just to review what those are, pillar number 1 was healthy fats. Pillar number 2 was properly prepared grains. Pillar 3, properly prepared dairy. Pillar 4, properly prepared bone stocks. And pillar number 5, real fermented foods. So today is video number 3, and to me, this topic, which is making it practical and economical, is so important because this is where the rubber really hits the road. So we can talk about how digestion works and what foods will help it till the cows come home, and maybe even argue about it, as millions of people do online. But none of it really matters until you start applying it for yourself and seeing the actual results. And applying it is not always easy because when we look at these 5 food pillars right here, they're not exactly things you can eat on the go or just grab at some local cafe. They take some degree of forethought to cook and prepare and shop for as well. And one of the most common complaints and certainly legitimate concerns when it comes to implementing these dietary changes is that it can take time to start preparing and cooking our own foods, and of course there's an added cost to it. So today I want to give you some tips for how to make these changes both practical and economical, and share a simple how-to video for one of these real food pillars. So let's start with some simple tips for making these changes practical and economical. So 5 tips to save time and money. So the first 2 are kind of obvious, but they need to be mentioned because they're so important. So tip number 1 is to learn to meal plan. So there's no way around it. Eating well, it takes a little planning, but you'll save a lot of money by cooking more at home. Now, you don't have to be a trained chef to learn to cook simple meals, nor do we need to spend unreasonable amounts of time in the kitchen. We just need to learn to make the best use of our time. So when you continually eat out and order out and eat frozen meals and quickly prepared food out of cans and boxes, this is a slow, albeit sure route to poor health. And it's really not more affordable either, even though on the surface it may seem like it. So sitting down and writing out a meal plan for the coming week, or maybe in some cases even longer intervals, it's going to help you stay on track, stay organized, and help you come home to meals that are already cooked and prepared, which is awesome, if you're a working person with kids, because that's what a good meal plan will do. These days, I'll tell you my own personal tidbit here. I really only cook at the most maybe 2 larger meals per week. But what I'm doing and what I teach others to do is tip number 2 here is to cook and shop in bulk. And this is probably the most important meal planning tip I can share. Nobody wants to make every meal from scratch. You'll certainly drive yourself nuts. So you want to cook 1 to 2 things in bulk every week that you will reuse throughout the week. So larger cuts of meat are great for cooking in bulk, like roasts, whole chickens. Using a slow cooker is going to save you a ton of time with this. Ground meat dishes apply here as well. You can saute up a large batch of ground beef that you can use for something like tacos throughout the coming week, or maybe a stir fry that can be reheated in just a few minutes. And then shopping in bulk will also save you time and money. And there are a lot of great ways to do this now. You can get some great deals and good quality foods at places like Costco and other bulk food stores, and even from your local co-ops and farms. So just ask, and they may be able to get you a great discount on items if you make a bulk purchase. And of course, you can also get great deals online now too. Of course, everyone knows Amazon, but there's many other sites offering good quality foods at serious discounts for larger orders. You can also team up with friends and neighbors to make a larger order possible. Now, I think those two tips are fairly straightforward, but the next three may not be as obvious. So, tip number three is to join a CSA and/or shop at farmers markets. Now, CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture, and they're becoming very, very popular. So, more and more farms are offering CSAs, and basically, you pay up front to a farm, to a local farm, and get a share of that farm's food. And then usually every week during the growing season, you either go to the farm or you go to a drop-off point, a pickup point, and you get a share of the vegetables or fruits or even other foods as well that that farm is growing. So, I'm not only in a fruit and vegetable CSA where I live, but I'm also in a meat CSA here in Western Massachusetts, and that's a monthly program where I get a share from a local family's farm, different cuts of beef, chicken, pork, etc. And this saves me so much money and time instead of having to go get each of those individual cuts in the supermarket. I was even in a seafood CSA for a while. Every week, a local guy out here would he'd pick up a variety of seafood from Cape Cod, and he'd drive it all the way back to Western Massachusetts. But the most common CSAs are certainly fruit and vegetable CSAs that usually run from June through October. And it's just a great way to get healthy local foods for a very good price. And, same, of course, for farmers markets as well. Now, to help you locate, maybe you're not aware of CSAs or if they exist in your area or even where the farmers markets are, which certainly are becoming more popular now and popping up in many places, you can go to this website. There we go, localharvest.org. Great website. And you can enter your zip code and it'll give you a list of local farms, farmers markets in your area, and also farms that are offering CSAs. So great little website you can check out there. Tip number 4, and this one extends upon tip number 2, which is to make lots of stock-based dishes. So remember in the last video when I talked about the importance of homemade bone stocks for gut health? Well, you can make some awesome, awesome meals from these stocks, including soups, stews, and chilies. And I try to cook a big pot of soup each week. There is nothing better than coming home when you're tired and having dinner ready via a simple reheat. Tip number 5, make your own fermented foods. It's very easy to make your own fermented foods. I teach my clients both in person and via my online digestive wellness program how to do this. It will definitely save you money. Now, if you remember from the last video again, fermented foods are one of the 5 food pillars for good digestive health. And I use pickles as an example of a great fermented vegetable when it's prepared properly. However, most store-bought pickles are not properly prepared and lack any digestive health benefit whatsoever. So as far as the benefits of fermenting your own vegetables at home, there's more benefits than beyond just the health benefits. And I just want to explain just a few of them. So 5 benefits of making your own fermented vegetables. So number 1, you won't kill yourself, I promise. I just say that because many people are afraid of sickening themselves when they make fermented vegetables for the first time, and that's because fermentation has to begin at room temperature, so you have to leave things on the counter for anywhere from 3 days and even a lot longer than that. But when you do it properly, you create an environment where pathogens can absolutely not grow, and people have been doing this for thousands of years. You will not sicken yourself or kill yourself, I promise. Number 2, you have little kids. So in many ways, fermenting your own vegetables is like doing a little science experiment in your own kitchen, and little kids will love it. Their natural sense of wonder and curiosity it'll be a lot of fun to observe as the veggies start to bubble, fizz, and ferment away on your counter. And it will also be fun to watch their expression as you taste the vegetables every day, to make sure they're ready. And I'd also recommend this because you can get your kids acquainted with the flavor of fermented foods at a young age. And picky eaters, many kids are picky eaters, who want nothing but sugar and junk food. That's a really difficult habit to turn around. So if you can get them started with really good quality fermented foods at a young age, you'll be well ahead of the game. So number 3, no 2 batches are going to be the same. And that's part of the mystery and fun. So most store-bought versions like Vlasic pickles, they need to recreate the same flavor over and over and over, and to do that they have to use their own secret concoction of chemical flavorings. But real fermentation doesn't use chemicals. So the amount of salt you add and the temperature in your kitchen are just some of the factors that will slightly alter how the fermentation proceeds, which also alters the final flavor. And also, the flavor changes over time, so you'll notice profound differences in the taste after a week, a month, 2 months, and so on, and that's totally normal. Number 4, of course, this is what we're talking about here. It's going to save you money. So you certainly can buy some good quality versions of properly prepared fermented vegetables in stores, but you can make them at home for a fraction of the cost. And finally, number 5, it is so simple. And so pickles are a great example of a fermented vegetable that you can make at home so simply. And right now, I'm going to show you how to do it. So for my digestive wellness class, I made some videos for how to make some common fermented foods. And I'm going to show you the video I made for how to make pickles. Now, it's a very short video, and let me just cue it up here. All right, so here it is. Check it out. Hey everyone, this is Craig Fear with Fearless Eating. Welcome to my kitchen today. Today I'm going to show you how to make lacto-fermented pickles, one of my absolute favorite fermented vegetables to make, especially now that it's summertime. So lacto-fermentation is a natural method of food preservation that enhances the nutrient content and makes foods a lot more digestible. It has a lot of digestive health benefits when we lacto-ferment foods. It increases the probiotic content, the enzyme content, and unfortunately, most mass-produced pickles are not lacto-fermented. They are pickled. So sometimes the word pickle is a little confusing. So we're going to take cucumbers today and turn them into a pickle, but there are two methods of food preservation. There's lacto-fermentation and there's pickling. So you can pickle other things other than cucumbers, right? So you can pickle onions, beets, other sorts of vegetables. And usually when we talk about pickling, what we're referring to is adding vinegar and heat to preserve those foods for a very long time. So commercial preparations, for example, of Vlasic, will use heated vinegar, and that will let it stay shelf stable for 3, 4, 5 years. A lot of people do this at home with home canning baths, water canning baths, and that will also preserve a food for a very long time. But when you add heat and vinegar, you sterilize that food and you destroy the nutrient content, the probiotics. So that's not what we want to do. We want to lacto-ferment foods, and that's what we're going to do with our pickles today. And I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Okay, so here we go. So I've taken the camera and zoomed in a bit here so you can clearly see this. Did you guys all see Lipton in the back of the last segment? I didn't even realize she had snuck in there. She's anxiously awaiting her walk. Anyway, so we're going to make a very simple standard recipe here. The classic formula for pickles, for cucumber pickles, is simply garlic and dill, which is all we're going to use here. You could certainly add in more than that. Mustard seed, cloves, cinnamon. There's a lot of different pickling spices. Hot peppers that add heat for sure. But I'm going to do a very simple, basic recipe here. So, let's get started. So I've already prepped the pickles, and I'm using just a kind of standard quart-size glass jar. It's a little under quart size, and that's kind of where you want to start if you're doing this for the first time. And this is kind of two tips for making pickles that will be nice and crunchy. So obviously the cucumbers, they absorb a lot of water. So one of the things about fermenting pickles is that they can turn a bit mushy. So to prevent that, number one, look for like kind of slightly underripe pickles that have a kind of a yellowish green color to them. And also, if you ever see these stems, make sure you trim them off, because they harbor an enzyme that can also turn it a little mushy. So I have halved these cucumbers, about 3 to 4 of them. You could certainly quarter them, whatever you want to do. I like having them. And what you want to do, well, first you want to do is you want to take a generous clump of dill. You want like 2 generous clumps, one for the bottom, one for the top. I'm going to put 1 garlic clove in the bottom. And then you just want to pack the spears in. And that's kind of why I like having them. I think they pack in a little bit better. And really kind of pack them in as much as you can. And What this will do is a few things. Yeah, I think I can get one more down there. Yeah, nice and compact in there. And so, as you can see, if I turn it over, they're nice and compact in there. And that will, therefore I don't need to use the weight to weigh it down, which is great. And then I'll take the last clump of dill and I'll kind of just spread it around and kind of push it in the wedges, between the wedges there, and just so it's kind of secure in there. I'll take the last garlic clove. You could certainly use more garlic cloves than that. You can use 1 clove, 2, 3, 4, however garlicky you like it. And now we're ready to go. And all I gotta do is pour the brine on. So I have the brine right here, and I've kind of measured this out, and this is approximately a quart of water, and I put in about a tablespoon and a half of salt. That's what I like. You could certainly go to 2 to 3 tablespoons. 3 is really pushing it. I think that's really salty, but it will ferment, it will work. It's just kind of your personal preference, but I think between 1 and 2 is really good. So that's it. I've kind of dissolved this in. Now, if you're not using filtered water, which I am, you definitely want to boil the water first, dissolve the salt in, and then let it cool to room temperature. Just so, because there can be some chemicals in unfiltered water that can alter the fermentation process. And so I'm just going to kind of pour this over the pickles right now. And really that's it. And I'm going to leave about a space between an inch between the top of the jar and the top of the water there. Because as it ferments, it will expand a bit, it will give off gases, and it can explode the jar, which we definitely don't want. So what we want to do now is put the top on, and we're going to leave this at room temperature for at least 2 days, and it will ferment. It has to be at room temperature where it will now ferment. And we want to burp the jars every few days, so you're just going to take this off once a day, let the gases escape. You'll notice it'll start to bubble, and in the summer it's going to ferment a lot faster than in the winter. So it might be ready after 2-3 days in the summer. In the winter it might take 7 to 10 days. Just check it after a few days and taste it, and you'll know when it's ready. When it tastes like a pickle, when it's nice and sour and salty, it's ready to go. And then when it's done, throw them in the fridge, and it will last for weeks, if not months, in your fridge, and you'll get all the nutritional benefits of the lacto-fermentation process. So that's it. That's how simple it is. So that's how to lacto-ferment pickles at home. All right, so let me just, start again. Let me just click off of it here. Okay. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that video and all of the videos in this digestive wellness series. So just to review for the last time, in video number 1, we covered the why digestive health goes south. In video number 2, we covered the what, exactly what foods damage digestive health and exactly which ones restore digestive health. And today we covered the how to take this information and make it practical and economical. Now, keep in mind that this information was just the basics, and I hope you've started and will start applying some of it in your life. Even the little I shared will make a dramatic impact. Now, that being said, there's a lot more you need to know if you're dealing with a long-term digestive issue. And so imagine if you could have a proven step-by-step system that you can easily follow that will take this information further and really help you get to the root of your digestive problems. So here it is. This is my I've developed an online program called Fearless Digestion that will help you put all this information into an actionable plan. It's a proven step-by-step program to heal your gut and transform your life. So, yes, the name Fearless Digestion is a gimmicky take on my last name, just like my blog name, but I promise you there's no gimmicks on this program. Just like you've seen in these 3 videos. No bells and whistles, just really great information that can help you go deeper and really transform your digestive health over the long term. Now, this program contains 8 modules that are designed to address the root causes of chronic digestive issues. And topics include how to identify food sensitivities, how to do an elimination diet, how to go gluten-free if necessary. Not everybody needs to do it, but I'll show you how to determine if you need to do that. And just how to learn more about the foods we've discussed, including lots of recipes and more videos just like the one you saw. So you can head over to www.fearlessdigestion.com to learn more details about the program. But while you're here, real quick, I'll just summarize a few things about it on just one slide right here. And so on this program, there are 8 in-depth modules that work slowly and systematically to heal your gut. And you can learn more about what's in those modules over on the homepage for the program at fearlessdigestion.com. And then you're going to get lots of handouts with each module, so printable guides, meal plans, lists of resources for accessing food, both in your local area and online as well. You're going to get over 50 gut healing recipes and videos, again, just like the ones you saw, and a private Facebook group where you can connect with the other class members and ask questions and get support. Lifetime access to the class, so you can always go back and review material as needed. And I have a 60-day money-back guarantee. So if you're ready to heal your gut, you can head on over to fearlessdigestion.com where you can learn more about the program. And finally, whether you're personally interested in my program or not, I know you know someone who could use this information, a friend, a colleague, a family member who's really suffering. Tell them about this program. See if you can get them to watch this video series. It could be a real eye-opener for them. But it also could be, a real lifesaver for them and help them stop the cycle of bloating and heartburn and pain and taking laxatives, antacid, acid blockers, and so on. So many people are suffering today, and they have no idea how easy it can be with a few dietary changes to see significant changes in their digestive health. So I think I'll end there and just say thanks again for stopping by, checking out my videos. Please don't hesitate to share them on social media or with others. And I had a lot of fun putting them together, and I hope you learned something valuable. So have a great day, and maybe I'll see you somewhere down the road here in cyberspace, and who knows, maybe even in person someday. So, okay, everyone, take care.